Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. My name is Lori Bays. I am the Assistant City Manager for the City of Phoenix, and I'm here to welcome you to the Youth and Community-Wide Budget Hearing. I want to say thank you to Phoenix Union and Central High School for allowing us to utilize the Student Union today, and we're excited to be able to present to you the budget and hear your feedback on it. I'd also like to introduce our interpreter for this evening. Her name is Elsie, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself to the audience.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elsie Duarte, and I'll be servicing as the interpreter for today's budget meeting. I will now take a moment to introduce myself to our Spanish-speaking audience. Muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Elsie Duarte y estaré brindándoles el servicio de interpretación a nuestra audiencia de habla hispana. Favor, háganme saber si necesitan interpretación o audífonos para poder escuchar la reunión en español. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Elsie. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the meeting is going to run today. The feedback we receive is extremely important as we formulate the proposed budget to present to City Council. So your input may be considered before the budget is approved. The proposed budget will be presented to City Council on May 2nd and voted on May 16th. If you wish to speak at today's budget hearing, please fill out a comment card. Looks like this. And turn it in to our staff. If you do not wish to speak today, there are still opportunities for you to provide your feedback and comments. You may either fill out a card and check I do not wish to speak, or you can also participate through the Fund Phoenix tool on our phoenix.gov website. This will allow you to provide direct feedback on the budget online, and you may also find information on that website how to email your feedback in or call in over the phone. What we're going to do today is I'm going to ask each of our council members present today to provide some comments, and then we have a short 10-minute video to show you on the proposed trial budget. The video also includes information on a proposed general obligation bond program, which was approved by the City Council in December of 2022. The proposed GO bond program is not subject to change, and today's video is for information purposes only. The GO bond program requires voter approval and will be on the November 7th, 2023 ballot for consideration. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Councilwoman Laura Pastor for her comments.
Well, good evening. Thank you for being here. I love that you're here. How old are you? 7, and I'm glad you're in civic engagement and your dad's going to talk about bikes. And you're going to shine. You're going to talk about the bikes too, aren't you? And the safety. So welcome to the youth group meeting. We see the youth is here, a 7-year-old, so isn't that great? And hoping to hear all the comments. I believe I will hear about bike lanes, bikes, bike protection, and I will also hear about development, but I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say. Last night I went till 9:30, so I'm glad that this is a little short one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And now I'd like to ask Vice Mayor Yasemin Ansari to provide some comments.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. The last time I was in this cafeteria, I was a senior in high school here for the Bobcat Bonanza debate tournament. So it feels like a flashback to be back here. Also excited. I'm excited that this is the youth-focused budget hearing this evening. We had our District 7 meeting this morning and heard a lot of good feedback from the community about the need for more youth programs, the need for more public bathrooms, increased water access in the city, increased homelessness services, free public transportation, and specific pockets of the community that needed extra attention. I know we'll hear in the video about the trial budget that this year much of the focus will be about employee raises to make sure that we can actually hire and retain quality employees in each and every department, especially those that are most vital to our city services. So looking forward to this evening and hearing what folks have to say. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We will now play the video highlighting what is proposed in the fiscal year 23-24 budget, as well as information on the GO bond program that I mentioned. Immediately following the video, we will move into speaker comments on the trial budget. Thank you.
The City of Phoenix trial budget for fiscal year 2023-2024, proposed by the Phoenix City Manager, is ready for public review and comment. A trial budget is a rough draft of the actual budget, estimating how much money and how it will be used for the next fiscal year. How does Phoenix's annual budget work? The city budget is made up of 3 parts: the general fund, enterprise funds, and special revenue funds. The general fund is made up of city sales tax, property taxes, revenue distributed by the state from income tax, sales and vehicle license taxes, and some fines and fees. The general fund supports many of the services our residents, visitors, and businesses have come to expect in Phoenix, such as libraries, parks, senior and youth programs, police and fire services, and more. Enterprise funds are those city departments that only charge the people who use their services directly, like water and sewer, airlines and passengers at Sky Harbor, and trash and recycling customers. Finally, special revenue funds reserved for specific purposes, from grants and voter-approved sales taxes dedicated for parks and preserves, transportation, and public safety. That's how Phoenix gets its money. Now, how do we spend it? Phoenix has a long history of responsible budgeting, ensuring resources are balanced to projected expenses each fiscal year. A top priority of the City Council is to ensure the public can engage in the budget development process every year, giving the community a voice in the future of our city. Residents have multiple opportunities to provide their input ahead of final budget decision-making scheduled for May 16th. Each year, departments look at what it will take to provide services for the upcoming year, and staff forecast what resources will be available to pay for services. The city manager then proposes a trial budget in March each year that identifies how resources should best be allocated to achieve city council and community priorities. Then, we ask for your input at community budget hearings in April each year by using the Fund Phoenix interactive budget tool available in English and Spanish, or by contacting the city directly to ensure the budget reflects the priorities of our residents and city council. After receiving your input, the city council will vote on the budget in May and legally adopt the budget in June each year. State law requires the city's budget to be balanced each year, and this year we are happy to report a projected budget surplus of $134 million. This is thanks to Phoenix's continued strong economy and sound fiscal leadership from the mayor and city council. For fiscal year 2023-24, the proposed general fund trial budget proposes to allocate the surplus primarily to address employee compensation. The city is experiencing significant vacancies across all city departments due to the competitive labor market, and increases are necessary so we can ensure our most valuable asset is paid competitively and positions can be filled with the best talent available to deliver services to you. This year's trial budget also includes $14 million in general fund money proposed to programs and services in city council and community priority areas. Focus Area 1, continuing services for vulnerable populations. To ensure vulnerable populations can continue receiving vital services that are at risk due to expiring or reduced grant funding, and increase resources used to help individuals experiencing homelessness, substance abuse, and behavioral health issues, $7.4 million is proposed to support the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, Victims Advocacy Services, and expand the Behavioral Health Engagement Team's contract. The funds proposed would also expand the Phoenix Cares Outreach Program to increase resources focusing on targeted areas in the city with high concentrations of encampments requiring cleanup, and continue operations next fiscal year at shelters serving 420 individuals per night and approximately 1,300 each year. Focus Area 2, enhancing public safety responsiveness and criminal justice. To help improve emergency response times across the city, $3.5 million is proposed for the Phoenix Fire Department for an additional rescue unit and to fully staff a new fire station located at 19th Avenue and Chandler Boulevard. As part of the Phoenix Police Department's focus on civilianization efforts, new positions are included for civilian investigators and police assistants within the department, along with training and crime scene specialists. Costs will be absorbed in the existing police department operating budget for fiscal year 2023-24. This proposal also includes additional resources for the law department to replace grant funding that will be reduced next fiscal year used to provide services to victims of crime. Focus Area 3, Healthy Neighborhoods and Community Enrichment. To expand the city's efforts toward equity and arts, $125,000 is proposed to increase funding for the Community Arts Grants Program that supports renters at Herberger Theater Center and other local venues. Also, a new project manager position to help manage and coordinate the Office of Arts and Culture's model for involving artists in designing and building a better city. The cost for this position will be paid for with existing capital project funds. A proposed $571,000 for the Neighborhood Services Department would add funding to expand the gated alley program, providing resources to install approximately 77 new gated alley segments each year, and restore 2 grant-funded neighborhood inspector positions to the general fund, which will free up grant resources used to serve low and moderate income residents. In an effort to increase park security and advance the city's climate action plan, $2 million is proposed for the Parks and Recreation Department to hire 14 park rangers and 1 park manager to create 2 urban park ranger teams that will work overnight. The addition of an overnight third shift will provide coverage 24 hours per day, 7 days a week at city parks. The proposed funds will also add more staff to expand tree planting and shade canopy efforts citywide and add a new volunteer coordinator to assist in the coordination of volunteer efforts throughout city parks. Non-general fund supplementals total $1.4 million. Due to growth and security needs at the airport, $917,000 is proposed for 2 new access agents for badging services and to add vehicles needed for the Airport Bureau. $488,000 is proposed to support technology and streamlining of services provided by the Planning and Development Department, including managing the Shape Phoenix permitting system, enhanced electronic plan review, and staff to support increased human resource activity. In addition, $1 million is reserved for possible changes to the trial budget based on resident feedback on the budget, and $5 million will go to the General Fund Contingency, or Rainy Day Fund, to ensure resources are available in the event of unexpected economic or financial events. This has been just a taste of what you will find in the 2023-24 City of Phoenix proposed trial budget. More information on the proposed budget is available at our website, phoenix.gov/budget. We encourage you to provide your input using Fund PHX, an interactive budget tool available in English and Spanish that lets you provide direct feedback on the proposed fiscal year 2023-24 trial budget additions. We hope that you'll review additional details in the budget tabloid available at each budget hearing in English and Spanish and online at phoenix.gov/budget. Please share your feedback in whatever way works best for you at one of the community budget hearings or by email at budget.research@phoenix.gov. You can comment on the city's social media pages at City of Phoenix AZ on Facebook or on Twitter using hashtag PHXBudget, or call us at 602-262-4800. All resident feedback will be shared with the City Council so they may consider it before making final budget decisions. The City Manager will present his proposed budget for 2023-2024 to the Phoenix City Council on May 2nd, 2023. The Council's budget decision will take place on May 16th. 2023. Thank you for being a part of this important process. We look forward to hearing your ideas for this year's trial budget and the future of Phoenix. And now to an informational update on the City Council approved 2023 General Obligation Bond Program. In December, the City Council approved a General Obligation Bond Program to advance to the voters in the upcoming November 7th election. General obligation bonds, also known as GO bonds, provide a mechanism for the city to fund the construction and rehabilitation of city facilities and infrastructure such as parks, libraries, fire stations, police precincts, community centers, streets and storm drains, and arts facilities. A GO bond program requires voter approval and cannot be used to fund operating costs like staff salaries or to fund assets in which the city has no legal interest. Phoenix voters have approved 12 GO bond programs since 1957, totaling $4.6 billion, with the last GO bond program approved by voters in 2006. This 17-year gap is the longest in the city's bond program history and has resulted in a significant amount of unfunded unfunded capital needs. In 2022, Phoenix City Council appointed a Citizens GO Bond Committee to identify the highest priority unfunded capital needs totaling $500 million. In the fall, committee members met to review capital needs identified by city departments and heard proposals and input from the public. After 3 months of committee deliberation and extensive public input, the committee recommended a proposed $500 million GO bond program to Phoenix City Council. The City Council approved GO bond programs include projects in the areas of arts and culture, economic development and education, environment and sustainability, housing, human services and homelessness, neighborhoods and city services, parks and recreation, public safety, and streets and storm drainage. The program includes projects such as a new Latino cultural center, acquiring land for Rio Reimagined, affordable housing property preservation, a new senior and recreation center, new regional pools, and improvements to existing community centers and park facilities, funding for heat resiliency projects, Vision Zero roadway safety initiatives, new and expanded library branches, and new and renovated fire stations throughout the city to improve response times. The full list of projects and programs is available on the city's website at phoenix.gov/bond. Voters will decide the outcome of the City Council-approved GO Bond program during a November 7th, 2023 bond election. Election materials, including an informational pamphlet with more detail about the bond program, will be mailed to all voters in the fall ahead of the election.
All right, thank you for your attention. Our first speaker is John Walker. John, if we can have you come up to the podium.
Hi, good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is John Walker. I'm here on behalf of the Phoenix Spokespeople Bike Advocacy Group. And I was just thinking about Phoenix Spokespeople. We started 11 years ago, so we've been coming to the city budget hearings every year for 10 or 11 years. First, I wanted to thank the city for the work, especially in the past couple of years, that has been done for bike infrastructure. Myself, I'm here with my daughter Evelyn, which is my oldest child, and her 2 siblings and I, we ride every day on my electric cargo bike. And specifically, we use 3rd Street every single day, and since the road renovation project has been completed, I've noticed a huge number of cyclists and scooters and individuals using that street. So thank you for that. I was recently in Mexico City, and it was really interesting because I was quite impressed with their bike infrastructure that they have, and it consists of physically separated bike lanes, and that's something that our organization has really been asking the city to do, and with there's a couple of examples that we have, but I really think we need more of that, because that's really what's needed to get individuals to be comfortable to use the bike lanes, and specifically with kids or younger riders or older riders, so to increase that accessibility to all sorts of individuals, not just the hardcore cyclists. So I do want to thank the city, and I really hope that we continue with that work. I know 3rd Avenue has some exciting changes coming, so we're very thankful for that, and just wanted to share my thoughts on that. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, John. Our next speaker is Jeremy Thacker. Jeremy, if you'd like to come up to the podium. And Jeremy has a friend.
I would like to say I agree completely with John that protected bike lanes should be the only definition of bike lanes. Paint is not a bike lane. It doesn't protect anyone, and it's a hazard. The thing that I'd like to ask for and see in the budget process is, instead of Fund Phoenix, the ability to actually see the open checkbook, to have all transactions in it, the ability to tie those to the ordinances that they go to and follow them through the chain. Because just being able to see a budget number without getting into the specifics or vice versa is really worthless. I mean, what we have is just a list of debits that doesn't get us very far. And I'd like to see the golf courses, the municipal golf courses completely eliminated. We have roughly 5,000 acres of developed parks lands. And 20% of that, 1,000 acres, goes to municipal golf courses. We have 25,000 plus acres of golf courses in Maricopa County, using 30 billion gallons of water. That's insane. So why would it's like the city of Vegas being in the casino business. Like, that's crazy. There's plenty of private casinos. The city doesn't need to get in the business too. So we could be using that land for mobile home parks or a number of different things. Kids all over the city we don't have enough parks. So using 20% of our land for 5% of the people that already have hundreds of options is ridiculous. So that's my thanks.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'm going to check with staff, but I believe that was our last speaker signed up. Okay. Well, that concludes our budget hearing then. I want to thank everyone for the time to come out this evening to watch the presentation. And again, if you didn't sign up to speak tonight and you wanted to provide comments, please do visit phoenix.gov and you're able to provide your comments there through a variety of ways. Thank you so much. Council members, would you like to make any closing comments? Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.